Hey guys, this is Jackson Montgomery here, and today we're going to be talking about why Texas homes usually don't have basements. So, let's get started. Number one, clay soils. Here in Texas, we have a lot of clay soils that expand, contract, and when wet, and expand. Well, actually contract when dry and expand when wet. And so building, it's not an issue to build a basement on clay soils as long as it stays that way. The problem is with basements the only problem is building if the clay soil around the basement contracts and expands. This can cause massive damage in the basement, which will also damage your house property. So there's number one why we can't build any basements in Texas. Number two, water table. Here in Texas, water table is about 10 feet below the surface, and other northern states like Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska is much deeper, like 30 feet or 50, which they can build a basement on. And building a basement in a high water table can cause massive flooding in the basement where it can damage the floors. So if you wanted to build a basement in a high water table, all you need is relief wells, which will pump out the water which will keep the water from entering in the basement and soaking the floor. This is obviously expensive and adds too much, and you're gonna have problems. There's number two why we can't build any basements. Number three, limestone. In Central and West Texas, there's a lot of limestone, caliche, and bedrock that's a lot harder to dig through than to dig through than other soils in the country, like Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and whatever. If you want to build a basement in a limestone, bedrock, or caliche, another thing you will need is an excavator that will crush the rock and will dig up the rock easier. This is also very expensive and adds too much to the cost of building a basement in Texas. There's number three why we can't build any basements in Texas. Number four, the cost. Engineering basements require more engineering, excavation, and concrete. And upfront costs of building a basement in Texas is more expensive than other regions like Kansas, Missouri, northern Oklahoma, and Nebraska. And there's number four why we can't build any basements in Texas. Number five, frost line. States up in the north like Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, frost line is very, very deep. So if we wanted to build a house up in the north, we would definitely need to build a basement to keep the house in good order. Down here, we wouldn't need to build a basement because the frost line is about a foot deep into the surface, into the ground, and is very shallow, so there is no need to dig deep to prevent pipes from freezing. And other factors, in the south there's more space to build land, so basements may not be as necessary as they are in the north. Well, and that Frostline was number 5. And conclusion. Basements can be built here in Texas, but it costs too much money. People don't want to waste a lot of money building basements here. So, that's all the reasons why we can't build any basements. It just adds too much money. And so, that's all I wanted to say. So, if you enjoyed this video, please hit a like and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video.